Hello and welcome. I'm the Big Shot Critic, and today we celebrate. Ladies and gentlemen, Big Shot Critic has passed 100 subscribers. Thanks to you all. And to celebrate, I'm going to do something that I've wanted to do for a long time. I'm going to share some of my story. I don't know if that's something you'll like, but I'm about to find out because it's story time. So I've been really interested in movies and film for almost 20 years, and I can't say for sure how it started. I know I didn't get it from my immediate family because none of them have this problem. But best bet is it started when I was small. My siblings and my cousins made a lot of home videos. We would make them all the time, and this went on for years. Everyone would be involved, but us smaller kids would usually be given more simple parts to play, to put it nicely. I remember when we did a Star Wars spoof, my part was Chewbacca, and my assignment was to growl occasionally. So I had ideas in my little young brain back then, but I didn't have the influence among my cousins and siblings to try them out. And by the time I was able to articulate them better, when I was older, my oldest cousins and siblings were off to college and getting married. That era came to an end. We weren't making home videos anymore. I believe this left me feeling creatively unfulfilled. Two things came into my life just as the home video era was coming to an end: iMovie and Driver 2. Driver 2 was a game for the PlayStation that I would play at my neighbor's house. It's a 3D open world driving game that actually predates Grand Theft Auto 3, but that's another story. The main point is that Driver 2 has a replay editor. I went nuts with it. As soon as I found out that you could choose your own camera angles, I would play the game with those camera angles in mind. And then I started combining camera angles to try to make something new. And I could try these things out. I had ideas, I could try them, and I could show them to people, which is something I did not get to do in my family's home video heyday. Also around that time, my parents got a new computer, and it came with iMovie. Now, younger viewers have to understand, and older viewers have to remember, that video editing software was a very new technology at the time, and digital video as a whole was new to consumers. It wasn't popular until right around then. Video editing software did exist before iMovie, but it was expensive. iMovie made it affordable and user-friendly. And there was no YouTube. I couldn't just go online and see what other people were doing when they were editing video. I couldn't see any amateur edited video. All I had for reference was movies and TV shows. So when it came to iMovie, when I got my hands on it, I had to just play around, just try things out.
Go, play, have fun.
What motivated me to do this was to get more of that fix, I guess, that I got from Driver 2, that I didn't get when my family was making home videos. With iMovie, I could have an idea, try it out, and then show it to people and enjoy their reaction. First, it was audio-only stuff using the microphone and the built-in sound effects that came with the software. But after a while, I started importing video from VHS tapes using a capture card that my parents had to digitize home videos, and dubbing over movies.
Oh, sir, okay, look at this. See the circle and the E and the dot and that dot and the three dots and the line and the line. And, see? I don't like your funny circles. No, you see there's even more circles, okay? See, like that one and that square.
So I was hooked. I loved choosing camera angles. I loved editing. I loved storytelling, visual storytelling. And as this new interest was developing, a new movie was coming out that would change everything. One day, when I'm feeling brave enough, I'll do a full review of Casino Royale and all the effects it had on me. But for now, I'm going to summarize. I was in high school, and I was just learning that my expectations for a movie have a huge impact on how much I like the movie. I had just seen Sahara, which is an okay movie, but I went in expecting something on the level of The Mummy or Indiana Jones, so I was disappointed. I realized that if my expectations were lower, I would have enjoyed the movie more. Armed with this new understanding, you'd think I would simply lower my expectations for every movie I saw. But I'm a movie guy. I get excited about movies. And I had already been getting pretty darn excited about Casino Royale. So I decided very early on that if Casino Royale was going to disappoint me after getting me so excited, then Casino Royale deserved to be a disappointment. I still remember walking into the lobby after the movie was over. I saw it with a friend of mine at a theater called Fiesta 5 in Mesa, Arizona. It doesn't even exist anymore. Going in, I was very conscious of the risks for disappointment, but I maintained my excitement nonetheless.
But we will meet them in battle nonetheless.
Coming out of the theater, I was not disappointed. My expectations were sky high for Casino Royale, and it exceeded them in every way. Something no other movie has managed to do, which is why it's my favorite. I think if Casino Royale had disappointed me, it would have retarded my interest in movies permanently. My newfound passion was vulnerable, but because the movie was so good, my interest in movies only accelerated. Part of the reason I make these videos is to influence people to have positive experiences with movies, like I did with this one. It doesn't have to change your life, even if it just makes you laugh a couple times or gets your mind off things for an hour or two when you need it. That's a positive experience with a movie. Movies can do that. Back to the story. Also in high school, I realized that I was pretty good at writing, and I enjoyed it. I liked writing assignments, and other people didn't. That was my first clue. I hated citations and scholarly formats, but I loved the writing. I started writing skits and shorts, and then I checked out screenwriting books from the library. And then eventually I bought one for my own. And here my journey pauses as I went to serve a volunteer mission for my church for 2 years in Houston, Texas. I think some people expected me to, quote-unquote, grow out of this interest somewhere in those 2 years. That didn't happen. I wasn't writing scripts or shorts, but I wrote plenty of letters and emails, and I met a great variety of people, which is always nice for a writer. Besides starting to write again, the first thing I did when I got home was enroll myself in film school. I'm going to hit the brakes right there for a minute. I was in film school for 3 days. I dropped out because I found out the film school caters to the more artsy-fartsy type of film buffs. You know the ones. They have clear frame glasses, they hang out at Starbucks well into their 40s, and they pretend they like French movies. I'm not one of those people. I don't get along with those people. And besides, after 3 days I could still get a refund, which I did. After reorienting my educational plans, I started a Twitter. I wanted somewhere to speak my mind and make sarcastic jokes about the movie world. The name needed to match. It had to be something solid, sarcastic, and snarky. Big Shot Critic was born. Pretty soon after, I made the switch to a blog, keeping the name Big Shot Critic. I wrote posts almost every week for 6 years straight on that blog. It never got big, and it was never meant to. I didn't mind. I just liked writing my thoughts and sharing them with the world. By this time, I was in college for marketing, and my writing was getting a little more serious. I was at a point where I really wanted to try writing a feature, a full-length film, which scared me. It was intimidating, but it was time to try. I outlined one idea and never wrote it. I jumped right into another idea, got 70 pages in, and got stuck. But my third idea, this one I sort of outlined in my head, got it to a good place, and started writing. and that one was going really, really well. Pretty soon, I realized that my college studies and my writing of this script were a little bit mutually exclusive. They were competing for my time. If I tried to do both of them would suffer. So I dropped out of college. I worked really hard on that script and I eventually finished it. Or I stopped revising it after a while. I've showed it to a couple people who could do something with it. It's possible that something can happen with it. But even if nothing does, I'm very proud of it, and I don't consider it a mistake or a waste of time. That brings us to the beginning of 2019. I feel like I've been kind of pulled in this sort of direction almost my whole life, and I try to say that without being too dramatic. In the movie Creed 2, the main character has to fight this guy, and he has a personal reason to fight him, but in the end, he fights him. He's got to fight him because he's a fighter. Fighting is what he does. Fighting is what he loves. And he's got to do what he loves. As he says in the movie, I'm paraphrasing, he's no good to anyone if he doesn't do what he loves. In 2019, I went against that. I tried to blend in and be something I wasn't. I tried to be a company man. Nothing against that type of workplace. Maybe it works for you, and I'm glad if it does, but it doesn't work for me. I thought going in, if he can do it, or she can do it, then of course I could do it. Well, I'm not him. I'm not her. I'm me. After a few months of this, my whole life got nuked. I got fired, my future career plans crumbled, and I suffered a major blow in my personal life. Obviously, I'm leaving out details here, but that's not important. What's important is that this happened because I was going against what I loved, and I was no good to anyone. This YouTube channel was one of the first changes I made. I revived the Big Shot Critic blog for a month or two, and then I decided to make the jump to video. I do it because I gotta do it. I love it. I gotta do what I love. And that's how this channel got started. Thank you guys so much for being a part of it. I'll be honest, this channel got a little more personal than I was expecting it to. And that's a little scary, but I'm glad you're here. I'm glad we're celebrating together. We made it to 100 subscribers. That's crazy to me. Thank you so much for watching and for getting us here. Pat yourselves on the back. Do it right now. Just like that. You. On the couch. Pat. Pat it. Do maybe even double-hander. Both at a time. Okay, bye.